introduction about Python operators. Python operators have precedence, which means which computation is carried first given an expression. For example, 2 plus 3 times 2. How does Python interpret this? Does Python do the summation first, then do the multiplication, or does Python do the multiplication first, then do the addition? In other words, does Python do 2 plus 3, which is 5, then times 2, or does Python do 3 times 2, then plus 2? Because the order of the evaluation would give different results. Now, the table here shows you Python arithmetic operators priority from high priority to low priority. The power has the highest priority, followed by unary operator plus and minus. The plus is basically gives you the sign of a number, and the minus negate the number. Next come multiplication, division, floor division, and modulo. Addition, subtraction have the lowest priority. So for the example above, Python would do the multiply first because multiplication has higher priority than addition. So Python will compute 3 times 2 first, which is 6, and then do the addition plus 2. So the result is 8. Now let's work on a few examples to help us understand more about the arithmetic operators precedence. Open Python console in PyCharm. Like this. If you don't see this open, again, you can go to Tools, click Python console. Or if you see this Python console, but you don't see this command or console prompt, you can click this, rerun. That will activate Python console. Now let's practice some arithmetic operators with the precedence in mind. For example, 2 plus 2 to the power of 2. What the result would be? We know power has the highest precedence or priority, so it would do the power first. 2 to the power of 2 is 4, and then plus 2 is 6. Correct. Then what about minus 2 to the power of 2 minus 2? Now we talked about a little bit about the unary operator, the minus and the plus. So minus 3 gives you a negative number of 3, just negative 3. Okay, so minus 3 to the power of 2. What this result is, because the power has the highest priority again, so it would do the power first, which is 9, and then negate the number. The result shall be minus 9. Now let's check this division. You don't have to have space in between these operators, between this operand and the operator. I have space here just for a better readability. Again, division has higher priority than summation or addition. So this time it will do the division first. 2 is divided by 2, which is 2 plus 8, then shall be 10. Correct. The same thing with floor division. So if you remember, the floor division takes the integer part of the quotient. Now, 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then plus 8 is 10. Now let's take a look at the last operator, modulo. 2 modulo 5. So basically this gives you the remainder of 2 divided by 5. So obviously it is 2. Now what about I do this? 3 plus 2 modulo 5. Again, the modulo, it has the same priority as multiplication, division, and also having higher priority than addition. So it would do the modulo first and then do the addition. The modular 2 modulo 5 is 2 plus 3, it shall be 5. Correct. I'm sure now you probably have questions about how to change these default priorities. For example, in the very first example, 2 plus 2 raised to the power of 2. What if we want to do the addition first and then do the power? Actually, parentheses are used to change the order of calculation in many other languages. No exception, Python uses the same. For example, if we want to do 2 plus 2 first, and then raise to the power of 2, we do this. We enclose 2 plus 2 in this parenthesis. So now it would do 2 plus 2 first, which is 4, and then raise to the power of 2. Now you see the difference. The same thing for the second example. If we do 2 minus 2 and then raise power of 2. Now this is an interesting case. It's 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 to the power of 2 should be what? Well, should be 0. Next example, minus 3. So minus 3 raised to the power of 2. So we know all numbers raised to the power 2 will just give you the absolute value. So in this case, it should be 9. And then what about the next one? 8 plus 4, then divided by 2. Now, it's doing 8 plus 4 first, 12, divided by 2, should be 6. Correct. The same would apply to this floor division. And also the same for modulo. So this would give you the addition 3 plus 2 first, 5, then divided by 5, and then the remainder of that is 0. Now let's look at this arithmetic expression. This expression does not have any parentheses. So the priority of calculating this is by default. So it would do this multiplication first. This is 18. After that, it does all this addition. So 20, 25, 32. Now what if I have parentheses 2 times 3 plus 5, then plus 7. With this parenthesis, the order of computation changed. This is computed first. So 2 times 3, 6 plus 5, 11. That becomes this. Now with this, the normal priority applies. It would do this first, 33, and then do this addition again, 35 plus 7, 42. Now, let's make it a little bit more interesting. Let's have a double parenthesis. How does Python evaluate this? It's straightforward, in fact. Whenever Python says parenthesis, it would compute whatever in the parenthesis first. Now, because we have another one inside it, actually it would do this first. So 11 plus 7. Now we reduce the 2 parentheses to 1. Now it would do this again because it's a parenthesis. So 18, 3. Now the evaluation becomes something like this. Now whatever the results come from that. So you can practice this in Python console and get a feel about the parentheses. For today's homework, I want you to practice arithmetic operators priorities. Just to run this expression in Python console. You can, of course, come up with more complicated expression with the summation, subtraction, addition, multiplication, power, etc. in one expression with and without parentheses. And first, I think you want to manually calculate the result and then type in the expression in the Python console and compare the result comes from Python.